Hi, my name's Yasmin and I'm the DM.
Hi, my name is Samantha. I play Elora Greyvale and she is a sorceress from the province of Nephalia.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I play Ogvar Shawfort, the goat-herding, mushroom-seeking ranger from Kessig.
Hi, I'm Rick, and I play Otto, a spring sage from Hanweir sworn to the land, wandering the plain and setting wrongs to right with his ursine companion, Bojo.
The friends got down to discussion, and Elora invoked her curiosity, endeavouring to inquire about Erik's animosity toward cherry pies. Esther and her companions committed to continue the Lunarch Macias's missive to aid the Archangel Avacyn in the absence of their fallen friend. Elora suggested an extension of their stay at the tower to both acquaint themselves with their new airship acquisition and to take time to attend to essential personal affairs. Ogvar's overt curiosity led to some majorly explosive manscaping of his hairy facial features, and later, during their evening downtime, scrolls were studied, books read, and armour buffed. However, whilst others slept soundly, Otto's slumber offered him a vivid vision, a celestial connection with Avacyn herself that only he could truly appreciate. Episode 150, Famine and Flatulence? Hi everyone! We've got some housekeeping this week, folks. Now, we feel that we have earned a holiday, and thus we will not be around next week to stream an episode for you, so huge apologies for that. Our next release will be episode 151 on the weekend of the 5th of October, after which normal scheduling will resume. But for now, let's move on with this week's offering.
So, you wake up in the morning. Ogvar, Elora, and Otto have all gone up a level to level 11.
Yay!
Woo!
Hey!
Level 11.
So, going around the table quickly, are we all happy with changes we've made to sheets?
Yes.
Okay, all good, and do you all have something prepared?
Do indeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, if we start off with waking up with the sun. Otto,
Yes.
what has happened to your sheets?
Quite a lot. As you discussed, Otto needed some changes, so we have, of course, had a little bit of a rebuild. Otto has now embraced the shape-shifting side of his nature, having sacrificed some of his magical powers and his link to Bojo. At level 11 he's now a Druid 5, Master of Many Forms 6. His skills remain the same because one of the things we've done is drop the Exalted feat system, which is not working here entirely. So he ends up with very, very similar stats, but with two major differences. Firstly, his spellcasting is drastically reduced to that of a 5th level druid, so a lot of changes there. But he's also now able to turn into many different forms many times a day. He can do that up to 7 times a day. He's got a range of forms from tiny up to large, and indeed even huge. And he can now become quite a wide variety of different forms, from aberrations, animals, fae, giants, humanoids, vermin, and monstrous humanoids. That represents quite a lot of changes, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out.
Excellent. Okay. Next woken up, Ogvar.
Hello. Yes, Ogvar has got a level. Being as he is multi-classed, he is dipping back into Ranger, and I think he's probably going to stay that way for a while now. So part of the level up, obviously, health points have gone up. He's gained extra additional 5 health points. Base stat bonus has gone up 1 point. His fort and ref saves have gone up by 1 point. He has obtained the swift track feat, which will come in handy hopefully. And he is getting to the point now he might be able to start using a few more spells. He's gained an extra first level spell slot, and the ability to cast second level spells if his wisdom were a little higher, which it isn't yet. As part of the Swift Hunter feat he took earlier on, his skirmish AC has gone up while skirmishing, which is always useful, and his 6 skill points will be divided between 4 into his knowledge nature, which will hopefully come in handy by being a bit more useful out and about. And as always, trying to be as perceptive as usual, he is going to invest the further 2 into the listen skill. One thing I missed out from the previous level up would be his favoured enemy. I should have gained an extra favoured enemy, and for that I have taken construct. So the 3 favoured enemies now are undead, human, and constructs.
Perfect. Elora.
Excuse me. Well, Elora is so excited. Well, actually, it's me, but never mind. Elora is now Start again. Elora is now level 11 sorceress. She has 4 new spells to add to her natural repertoire. As a second level addition, she has acquired Combust to reflect her anger over losing a companion in battle. She recognises Rowan's progression, having more trust in allowing him to share her spells, and therefore feels a more urgent need to offer him greater protection. So she's taken that in the form of the level 3 spell Fortify Familiar. Her 4th level choice is heavily influenced by her sea and sailing background, and as they now seem to have a ship of their own, she may hopefully find the Vortex of Teeth spell useful. Never used that one before. Her recent dreams involving death, golden feathers, and a yearning need in her wider personal plans to be able to contact others over distances sees her gain the 5th level spell Sending. The other magical benefit when cast sees her Scorching Ray spell increase from 2 levels to a maximum level of 3 rays. Now at level 11, her hit point maximum increases to 58. She adds a +1 to her Arcana and Move Silently skill checks, and her Bab, Fort, Ref and Will remain unchanged. Moving to Rowan, as always, his hit point total is always that half of that of Laura's, and now stands at 29, which is quite healthy. He gains an increase to his natural armour adjustment, bringing it to a +6, and his intelligence is now 11. He acquires spell resistance, which equates to his master's level, which is 11 +5 for a total of 16. His spell save DC now hits a very impressive 25. Tidy. Yeah. Nice.
Is it going to end up with the bat being the strongest one in the group?
Quite possibly.
I have a question.
Okay.
If I may interject briefly. Regarding our wonderful ranger, do you think the reason he's not got high enough wisdom to cast his second level spells might be related to his love for mushrooms?
All right, sorry, man.
Sorry, I had to get it.
Okay.
Could be.
Right, okay, so as you wake up in the morning It's quite early. The sun is just peeking above the horizon, providing this kind of warm illumination into the main living area where you've all camped out in the night. As you open your eyes and you rub the sleep from them, you stretch, you bring yourself back to consciousness. You see Erik. He's stayed with you through the night. He's slumped over the arm of a chair, still snoring away, obviously recovering from his naval journey. Esther is similarly curled up with this large crochet blanket over her, snoring quite lightly, quite quietly, as the rays begin to kind of kiss her cheek through the window. You wake up, you feel refreshed, you feel stronger than before. You feel like you've had some measure of personal improvement. Otto, you feel a burning heat on your hip.
I shall investigate said burning heat and hope it's not arthritis coming in a bit early. Or late in this case.
Dear. Yeah. So you very quickly realise that this heat is emanating from your seed pouch.
Oh, I shall quickly peek inside and make sure nothing's got in to burn the rest of the seeds. We wouldn't want that.
Okay. You peek inside. And as soon as you kind of open up, because I imagine it's like a little drawstring pouch,
Yeah.
As soon as you pull it open, a golden light emanates from the bag.
The feather.
Indeed, the feather is glowing. It is emanating a burning heat. You can feel, as you open it up, it's like opening an oven. You feel this wave of heat hit your face, and you can imagine that if you had glasses, they'd probably steam up quite spectacularly. But no, the feather is glowing and emanating this heat. And you can all see this, so Ogvar and Elora, you'd very much notice as Otto opens the bag, there's this kind of golden beam shining up. Think of like, your kind of standard MMORPGs where like you open a chest and there's this big shooting golden light that comes out. It is exactly like that.
I think Otto's going to panic for a moment, quickly invert the pouch and try to get this feather off before it starts actually burning things, and then use like try and fold the pouch up and try and pick up the feather if it's not too hot. Have a look at it.
Yeah, you pick up the feather and it is not hot at all. It is in fact cool to the touch. It doesn't feel like the feather itself is burning, but there is just this heat emanating off of it. And as you all look, Otto holding this feather, Otto, you feel a part of yourself, a connection, detach. And a new one quickly forms. But you feel as if you have lost something. And you very quickly realise that you have given to Avacyn. And Avacyn is now taking. As your power leaves you, new ones coming in to fill their place. The feather in your hand floats up, as if rising on thermals, swaying gently, and before all of your eyes, floating suspended in the middle of the room near the ceiling, it emanates golden rays, before quickly bursting into a silvery golden light that dissipates.
I didn't do anything. I'm pretty sure. Don't think that was me. I think.
What's just happened?
The feather. The feather. Where's it gone? Where is it? Otto, what have you done with it?
Don't know, but something odd. Is there like a window we can look out of, just make sure it's not sort of just flown away and nearby?
You didn't see it fly out of the window. No, the windows are shut. But what you do hear, as in a mild panic you kind of look around to see what's happened, you hear Avacyn's voice once again, Otto. This time fainter, strained, although still retaining that silvery kind of quality. It's very much weaker. She says to you, it may take some time, but he will recover one day.
Thank you, my lady.
Your gift will be the seed of his rebirth.
Then let us hope that he brings light to those corners where it is needed.
You hear no response, her voice having faded away, and it's very clear to you that you are the only one who has heard this. Although you have spoken out loud, and the rest of you can hear Otto's responses, her voice is purely in your head, Otto.
Well,
Elora's frowning deeply. What do you mean by that, Otto? Who are you talking to?
You didn't hear her voice.
Whose voice? Did you hear anybody?
No.
Well,
No, we have no idea what you're talking about.
Avacyn. She is... I offered... I made an offering to her, in the hope that perhaps Kewin could be somehow restored. Those were offerings I made personally. They're not things that perhaps I felt we needed to discuss. And it seems that she has answered. I presume this is why the feather has been returned.
What did you offer her? In exchange for what? I don't understand.
It is... I've told you before that I made my vows to the land.
Yes.
They were in part to make up for some wrongs that I committed when I was younger and searching for my wife. They've since led me many places. They've bestowed upon me many gifts in return for those vows. But I offered those gifts that I had been borrowing, perhaps, back to Avacyn, should it be possible to return Kewin and bring him back to us. I don't know what form that might take, but it does appear that she has accepted that offering, and I feel different. Not weaker necessarily, but no longer bound by those vows. And I must say, it's not the first time I've heard voices in my head, but hers is quite distinctive, and I'm fairly certain that it wasn't just my imagination. And something has changed. I can feel my bond to Bojo has changed. My magic is... And he'll just sort of wave his arms a little in movements you might have seen him make in the mornings previously. My spells are diminished. Hopefully I will not be a burden to you, but I fear I may not be quite as useful as I might once have been. But let us hope that we at least have returned the scion of Avacyn back to this realm, and that's a strong enough return on that sacrifice in the long run. I'll still do my bit as best I can. Although I must say, and it's been a long time since I've said this, I'm bloody hungry.
Well, this is new. You don't normally partake of meals with us.
So he might just sort of lift up his rags and point to his quite emaciated body. Well, I haven't eaten since I made those vows. Like, I haven't eaten once in that time, nor partaken of any drink. Which reminds me, I may need a bucket.
Elora will squint slightly. She's thinking to herself, she's looking at the brown leathery skin and thinking to herself, she's never going to unsee that. But she says nothing to cause offence.
Okay. Otto. So, quick question for you as a DM. What spell do you cast when you use your seeds in the pouch?
That's normally Goodberry, that when he used the seeds in the pouch, but also formerly he would have used it for casting plant growth, which is a 5th level spell he no longer has.
Okay, excellent. So, give me 1 second. As you go to close up your pouch, you go to pull the drawstring shut, you notice that 5 of these seeds are now ingrained with a gold and silver pattern. It seems to curl around the seeds very delicately, very finely, in just kind of scroll-like shapes. When you investigate them a little bit, because you are almost certain that they didn't have this pattern before, you can tell that these seeds, should you use them to cast a spell, will have an improved effect upon use.
Very nice. Curious what that will do. And also slightly scared to experiment. I will silently thank Avacyn for her gift.
So, has Otto put his robes back down now, or is he still stood?
Cropped up.
Give us the old full frontal.
Well, he doesn't worry about such things so much, so he might just suddenly realise that everyone's feeling a little uncomfortable and drop those robes back down, yes.
So Ogvar will clear his throat and so I'm not quite getting what's going on at the moment, because Kewin was alive, and then he wasn't, then he was dust, and then he was a feather. So what is he now?
I think that's up to Avacyn. I have no idea. I know little more than you what's going on, only the cause, I suspect, of what has happened. The effect is yet to be determined, I presume.
But he's gone.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yes,
we haven't got him anymore?
Your guess is as good as mine.
And the feather's definitely gone. It's not in your pouch.
Did you see the bright shiny thing go up into the air and then disappear?
Oh yes, but I'm just a bit confused.
Yes.
So he's gone?
I'm really sorry, I haven't eaten
Somewhere.
for about 10 years. Can we go get some breakfast, please?
banana.
And maybe a cup of tea.
Elora gives up at this point. She's feeling like she's not going to get any further with this questioning.
There may be some unusual noises now coming from Otto's stomach.
Yeah, it pretty much sounds like Bojo's in the room with you. Okay. So, very quickly you decide to go and get some breakfast. Otto's stomach being the main complaint giver there. You head off into the kitchen. You know, there's food in there, there's supplies, so you can scrounge up a nice, full Innistrad fry-up.
Oh, nice.
With tea, with coffee, the full works. And yeah, you do a fry up, and the smell the smell of frying food and coffee wafting through the room wakes up Esther and Erik, who come to join you. Esther helps out with the preparations. Erik pops off to take the puppy downstairs to have a whittle without damaging the floorboards. And yeah, you have a pleasant morning. Someone takes food down to Genric. He is still working away. It seems to have worked through the night again. And yeah, you have a nice morning. Otto, you eat for the first time in about 10 years. And it is good. It is good food. And you haven't experienced the taste of, tangy bacon or hearty sausages. And yeah, this is like a divine feast for you.
I have these images of Otto eating far too much, enjoying this every moment of this, and probably by the time he's finished, he's probably got a slightly distended stomach at this point. He's definitely eaten too much, and he doesn't care. He's very much enjoying every moment. He may not enjoy what happens in a few hours' time, but he's going to enjoy the moment. Yeah,
once the pipe work starts going and the rust is knocked off, it's not going to be a pleasant experience.
Baked beans exist in Innistrad.
Yes, they do now.
Well, I think the other thing to consider is if he hasn't eaten or drunk anything for 10 years, there's other things he hasn't needed to for 10 years. And let's just hope he's young enough to remember these things.
Oh.
The bathroom's going to smell a bit.
Right. Sure. No. Right.
Okay. So how are you spending your morning? I imagine, Otto, at some point you will have to go because your stomach is sounding like groaning pipework in an old building as it rumbles to life. You will have to go, and you will probably be gone for a significant portion of the day. At some point. I mean, are you doing the polite thing and going outside to a hole in the ground, or are you just going to destroy Genric's plumbing?
I'm absolutely going to be destroying Genric's plumbing, because it's far better that than to despoil nature.
It's okay, I think I have a mending spell.
You might need a cleaning spell afterwards.
Prestidigitation, I haven't got that one.
There we go.
I wish you did.
So, what are you doing in the morning? You've had your breakfast. Otto's
busy.
All right for the time being.
Otherwise occupied, yeah.
I think Elora would have gathered with Otto. Sorry, not Otto, obviously, because he's in the toilet.
Meeting in the toilet?
Yes, that's it. No, we're not having a meeting in the toilet. Yeah, I think Elora would have a meeting, basically, a chat with Ogvar and Esther. Probably Erik. We're going to need to sort some stuff out. We've got a lot of stuff to get through. And if we need to move on, we need to take some time to do this, so we need to be quite efficient with it, I think. We've got all this loot that we found on the ship. We need to get to looking at that and sorting out what we're keeping and what we're not keeping and what it all is. We need to send messages to people.
Okay.
And something has changed within me, and I feel that I can reach out and do that now. I had a strange dream, and it's left me feeling like I can reach out to others that aren't here. Don't ask me to explain it.
Ouija board.
Okay. Quite an eventful night.
We've got, obviously, Paul. Ah, you met Paul.
Yes, I've met Paul.
Did he cook for you? Did he find anything to cook for you?
He did well.
Oh, that's got potential.
I had
then.
a fish.
Okay. We need to sort out supplies for the ship. The ship's got to be refitted. If we're keeping it, are we keeping it? I take it we are.
Well, potentially, yeah. It's not the easiest of things to manoeuvre. It's a little bit challenging, but I think Erik seems to be reading upon the instructions on how to make it do everything it's meant to do, and I help press the buttons and steer the steering wheel, and it seems to go roughly where you want it to.
Yes, it says here in the book, don't operate at speeds above 20 miles per hour.
I didn't really have much to do with the speed, it just sort of did it. I just hung on.
I don't even want to know. I genuinely don't want to know that story. But you've got it here. And apart from damaging the sail, or one of them, there's a great big bloody rip in it. We've got to repair that as well.
We might need some new flooring in the galley as well, because quite a number of sharp implements stuck in and the ceiling as well, actually.
And the walls.
Yes.
And the countertops and the
We might
doors.
need a refit in the galley. But, I think that might be Paul's job.
Where do we want to start with this? Look, we need to make some decisions. We haven't got much time to be doing this, so we do need to move on. I think possibly we should rename her.
Okay.
Has anybody thought about that? Where's Otto? Otto!
You may hear groaning sounds come from another room.
You hear some
he's in the little
disgusting
druid's room.
sounds from the other room.
Right. I don't think the Shattered Moon is a title that really is.
It is a little bit ominous, isn't it?
It is just a bit, yeah. I think we should rename it. Well, you appear to be captain. What do you think?
I think renaming it would be a good idea. I did have a small conversation with Otto, and it doesn't really instill hope or the image of good of Avicin, does it, with the Shattered Moon?
So we agreed that we're going to keep it, being as it's an airship. I mean, I did want to give it to the church, but I've kind of backtracked on that a bit, because this is a completely different thing. This is not just a ship.
This is an M&S
I
ship.
knew that was coming. So we need to start making a list of things that we need to do. So we need to rename the thing. We need to refit it. It's obviously going to need. It's had a deck taken out of it. Deck floor's going to need repairing where I made a hole in it. And we need to get supplies for the galley. We need to put cabins in there if we're going to use it, because we've got to sleep somewhere.
Yes, I agree.
And there's no stairs in there. They're all ladders.
Yes, that's a little bit challenging with Bojo.
Yes. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
also the small problem of how we get back to it.
What do you mean?
But it's out there, and we're on land, and the boat only lasted a day.
What boat?
Swan boat?
Oh, is that how you got back?
Yes,
I
very
did
good.
wonder.
As you look out the window, you can see that the boat is still there. It lasts for 24 hours, and you came back, shortly after midday. So the boat is still there. It's now perched on a stack of rock up the cliff face, and you can just see this boat, and it is like a perfect swan pedalo.
Elora's looking with her face pressed up against the window, looking down again towards the edges of the cliff. Yeah.
So that won't last much longer.
Well, then we don't need to worry about it if it's going to vanish, do we?
Well, we don't have to worry about how to get it down.
I don't think you need to worry about it, full stop. Okay, right, well, that's that.
So we need to get out there first, one way or another. Unless
Right.
there's Erik, there isn't a way of making it come a little bit closer in the air, is there?
No, not without someone there to pilot it,
Oh,
sail it.
I think that might be your area of expertise, Elora. We could do the dimensional door thing across there.
Yeah, I guess I can do that.
That might be the easiest and quickest way.
It will be for now, yeah, definitely. So what do you want to do first? I mean, what about, I'm very confused. There's so many things to do. Right. Kewin's stuff. We've still got Kewin's belongings. We need to get these back. We need to arrange to get these back to Casper. I have a few ideas. I kind of feel that I need to send a couple of messages. There is a personal message that I want to send to somebody else. I want to send a message to Casper, and I think that we could send a message up to Selhoff, and do we need Armin to send some of his men down here? I mean, we've got undead in the graveyard at Saltstone, that's got to be dealt with.
Well, you say evidently they're not going to go away in a hurry, are they? So.
Well, could we perhaps send a message and ask them to come down and help, and then maybe when they leave they can take Kieran's stuff back?
Maybe.
What did he have on him? Laura's going to go to the corner of the room where Kieran's stuff was just put down the day before.
Okay.
She's going to empty the backpack. It kind of feels wrong, but we need to look through here. There might be something that we need to keep, but everything else needs to be returned to Casper.
Okay.
I know Kieran had stuff from the church at Selhoff. Maybe that needs to go back there. Okay, so
Good idea, yes.
she's going to start going through his stuff in his backpack. What do we know that he's got in his backpack? I know he's got the skin of Celestial.
Okay. So, obviously I don't have the updated sheet, but
Yep.
I've got a sheet from level... I don't know what level this is actually.
Fine.
So we'll just go off of what we've got here.
Yep.
So he had a Masterwork Silver Bastard Sword,
Does anybody want that? We just send that back. That was his.
Masterwork Greatsword,
No, we'll send that. These are his personal possessions.
Yes.
Dagger and Light Crossbow,
Yeah. We'll just send those back.
okay. In terms of money, there was 13 platinum.
Well,
It was his own, and I assumed the church will take it as a donation.
yeah, but he was carrying the party funds.
Is that his personal or the party funds?
It's party funds, I think.
What? What was?
Assume that was his personal.
That's his personal.
Oh. Okay. Okay, Elora would dismiss anything that was personal to...
Okay, so you don't care about what he's got monetary-wise?
No, not
Okay.
in his personal monies. That she would consider that would be his personal effects, and therefore she wouldn't touch it.
Okay, also in there is the standard kit, backpack, bedroll, water skin, flint and steel, 2-man tent, 50 foot of hemp rope.
Otto might appreciate using some of that at this stage.
You just hear a noise coming from the toilet.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Should we do this when we have everybody here?
I think it'll probably be only a couple of minutes before Otto will come out, suggest politely that no one uses the little druid's room for any length of time, and
Little
might
druid's
just sit
room.
down with a small glass of water now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now that Otto's back with you, there's backpack, bedroll, water skin, flint and steel.
Yes, please.
Otto, is any of that of any use to you? I mean, I'd like to send as much of his personal belongings back as possible, and we've got various items, but...
Well, one of the other things I seem to have noticed, and he'll sort of snuggle into the furniture as much as he can, is that I'm feeling the cold a bit more than I did, so I think the bedroll might be quite useful, and perhaps I need to update my clothing if we're going back outside as well. Yes, anything like that I think would be quite useful. Thank you.
Okay. There's a 2-man tent, 50 foot of hemp rope, winter blanket.
Yes, please, covers most of that, but I think probably the rope's not necessary too much, and 2-man tent's probably a lot for him to carry, so he'll probably just snuggle into his bedroll as best he can.
Okay, there's a lamp, 2 litre lamp oil. What the hell is that? I don't know what that is, so I'm gonna... There's holy water, antitoxin, grappling hook, 23 caltrops.
He had a grappling hook.
Apparently.
Yeah, he used it. No, he used it a couple of times, didn't he?
There's the whetstone and instant spit. Viva la instant spit.
Brilliant.
Manacles.
Yeah.
There's the letter of introduction.
Oh, yeah, that's got to be useful. Fruitful.
which was, I think, the one for Elora.
Right.
The sigil.
Sigil.
A sigil, Casper's wax stamp. The de Greymont stamp.
Oh, right.
10 healing kits.
Going back a moment, I think Otto might suggest the antitoxin might be a useful thing to keep around, just in case. Healing kits. Otto could maybe do with one of those. I mean, he's kind of been making do with roots and whatever as he goes, but a more effective bandage might sometimes be useful.
Yeah, Ogvar will take one because he has used his less bandages, so it would just be one to replace.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
Otto would definitely only take one as well.
Oil of magic vestment +1.
Oh, not interested. That could go back.
The copper-coloured ID card from the Adventurers Guild.
What on earth is that?
That would stay with his possessions. That would stay with his
Oh,
possessions.
that's the membership identification for contract value. It's like an adventuring guild thing that we joined to pick up some work when we were a little low on coin.
Huh. Okay, just curious. Does it come in silver and gold versions as well?
I don't know. We haven't done that many contracts for them. In fairness.
Esther
comes
quite
in a black-
happily flashes her black card.
Yeah, I was just about to say it comes in a black version.
She tells you, oh yes, dearie. They do. Obviously, you go up in ranks and you go copper, silver, gold, platinum, and then if you do a lot, you get one of these ones. And she shows a black card to you, a black metal card. So there's a potion of dark vision, a potion of bull strength.
Both of those very useful for
No.
us as a group, aren't they?
There's an armour maintenance kit and an enamel mug, and then obviously there are going to be other bits which we don't have, so we'll just treat them as they perhaps got
Dusted.
used or lost or damaged at some point, and you know they're just not there for whatever reason.
Elora will pick up the belt of healing, and she's going to turn to Esther and say, Esther, would you like this? Caddo gave it to Kewin, didn't he?
Yes, dear. Well, seeing as I'm the only one with healing capabilities, as poor as they may be, I think that would be a good idea. And she takes it from you and she slings it round her waist and tightens it up.
Yeah. Also, she's going to hold up the skin of Celestial. This was an artefact from the church. Does anybody feel that it should go back to the church?
Ogvar just nods and I believe so. Yes.
Yes, well, I have no use for it, dearie.
Okay. She puts the skin of Celestial back with the remains of what was in his backpack that...
Yeah. So what you'll have done is you will have taken everything out of the backpack, and I imagine, Otto, you've probably taken a couple of bits. You've taken some of the basic kit, blankets, bedroll, water skins. You've probably also taken the backpack itself, because that's, you know, it's useful kit which you can use, and it's a good sturdy backpack. It's obviously very well made, and you've got basically a basic kit now. What you have left over is obviously his weaponry, his armour. Other specific things like the skin of Celestial which need to be returned to the church, personal items like the ID card and the enamel mug you got him, and they just kind of remain in a pile. Erik will shuffle off and he'll find one of these spare big boxes that they have a couple of floors down where Genrix obviously put items in. Eric's got this big box. It's made of some kind of, you know, thick card, a bit like basically a packing box, and he'll put it down and you can gently put the items in. I mean, the sword you kind of stab through the bottom so the end's poking out the bottom, but you put the rest of the items in there, the armour, anything that you want to return to Kewin's family or return to the church, you can pop in there, and then you've obviously got a box, and Otto can have the backpack and have some kit for himself.
Right. I think she put that to one side in the room once it was repacked to go back. Otto, do you have a dagger? Because I have a spare.
I suppose that might be useful in case things get a bit tight. I have my staff, but it's not always the best tool for a job, is it? Yes, thank you.
She's going to shuffle in. Orland, could you pass me the dagger that I've stashed in you, please?
All right. And he spits out this dagger as it goes flying through the air and embeds itself into a wall.
Yeah, Elora will duck as that goes.
Yeah.
We don't need a sound effects guy.
Elora motions to the dagger in the wall and says, "You can have that one there. It is magical, but I haven't kind of identified exactly what it is. It is a magical dagger, but I don't know what it does.
Well,
but you can have it. I don't need
very
it."
kind, thank you. And he'll wander over, take a moment to extricate this dagger, partly because he's not so strong and partly because I'm sure that Orland is. And he's just going to reflect very briefly before he grabs hold of it, because he hasn't really owned anything for a long time. And he almost feels alien sort of accepting all these things. He's sort of realising it for a moment, but he will take this dagger and he'll sort of hold it as almost like a treasured gift, because it's not something, no one's really given him anything like this for a long time.
Elora then reaches into her own backpack and she hands Otto a scroll. It is a scroll of Goodberry, which Elora knows what the scroll is because she's read it, but she is unable to use that type of magic for herself.
That should be useful as a backup.
And she's going to hand that scroll to Otto and just say, "That one's
My
from me.
thanks.
I hope it comes in handy and you put it to
Sure
good
we
use."
will. I imagine Bojo will probably enjoy that more than anyone else. Thank you, though. That's very kind.
You're very welcome.
One thing that I would like to add, when all this is going on, because obviously Ogvar serviced and sort of cleaned all of Kewin's armour last night, but didn't feel it was the right place or the time to do it when he was just him on his own. When it's being loaded into the box, he would like to take some form of insignia or something that's very obviously Kewin, whether it be like
Yeah.
the little things that go in the corner to stop you getting stabbed in the armpit, or I don't know what they're called, but something like that's quite clearly Kewin, and would like to just be able to wear that, as obviously Kewin got him into this whole situation. This is why he's here doing this quest, so he would like to keep a bit of Kewin with him.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, you could probably take the greaves if you wanted to. There's a couple of bits you could take. Part of the chest plate, which is just over the chest, it's very like a separate piece. You could take that. It won't boost your AC any, but it will just be
something like
small.
Like it could almost be worn as like a badge.
Yeah.
Maybe take one of the shoulder pauldrons. It'll look good.
Yeah, that's probably the best option for that shoulder pauldron. Yeah, and you can take it and you can buckle it up over your shoulder, and you can have it sat on your shoulder.
Cool. Thank you very much.
And it is, I mean, Kewin had nice armour. Kewin did have very nice armour, and it's, it's silver, it's shiny thanks to your polishing, and you can see it's actually quite detailed. Yeah.
Ogvar puts on and says, "I think it'd be best if a bit of Kewin stayed with us for the rest of the mission. He got us all together, so I think we should keep him with us."
I think it looks very fetching on you.
Ogvar sort of looks at it and is like...
Looks at it and gets blinded off the glare.
Yeah, you look at it, like try to look at your shoulder, and all you can see is like your nostrils, like magnified massively in the reflection.
I must plug my nose.
Okay, yeah. So you will also take kind of there's a couple of items which Kewin would still hold, which were kind of like quest-specific items, let's say. So the book would have been one of them, but obviously Genric's got that at the moment. So there are probably a couple of items like that which you can take and you can kind of you keep them safe.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So you're probably kind of coming into late morning now, heading towards maybe 11 o'clock, half 11. It's been quite emotional, kind of going through Kieran's items and divvying them up, so to speak, but you know that practicality-wise, making use of what you can use is the best course, and obviously anything personal can be sent back to his family. So you've divvied up all of the bits, and it's at that point where Jenrick comes back upstairs. He looks haggard. He is exhausted. The bags under his eyes are immense. Oh, hello. I've been working on translating the book, and he goes to try and show you the book, but the book's in the other hand, and he just kind of waves an empty fist in the air. He's very tired. I need a short rest will do. A 5-minute nap would suffice. But bless her heart, Katerina is quite the genius. It may take me a while longer to decode this. In honesty, maybe a 7-day.
Jenrick, we really appreciate what you're doing. We obviously can't do that part. It takes you as long as it takes, and now we have that sitting out there. Jenrick, I think the best way for you to get through this is you need to get some rest. Jenrick!
Oh, sorry.
If you don't get some rest, you're not going to be able to finish this, or you're going to make a mistake. I'd rather you took longer. Jenrick! Listen, I'd rather you took longer to do this. We would rather you took longer to do this, but got it right. So you take the time you need. We've got things that we now must... Jenrick!
Ogvar's just going to start, scooting a chair round behind him.
Oh, sorry, you were saying?
We've got to deal with that out there. So... we've got to deal with that out there, so just go get some rest, get something to eat and drink.
I think that he's already trying to follow your advice.
Have I actually... has anybody got a sleep spell to force this bloke for some rest? Oh, God.
You seem to be casting it as you talk.
I'm not trying to say you're boring or anything, but...
Yeah.
Well, fuck you.
Shall we?
No, I've got nothing.
Shall we leave him to it, maybe? Erik, can you maybe get him off to bed?
Yeah. Okay. Erik will nod and he'll take Jenrick's over. as Jenrick kind of startles awake again, flaps his hand at you kind of unconvincingly, and Erik escorts him into his bedroom, which is quite unfortunately attached to the bathroom.
Oh no.
Which...
Well, that might wake him up.
Which, indeed, does instantly wake him up. That was his bollocks! What is that smell?
Druid smelling salts, don't worry.
And you hear the tower windows creak open as the windows open themselves up and slams the toilet door shut. And pretty quickly you hear the sounds of Jenrick snoring away. Coming from the other room.
Something.
Right.
And Erik re-emerges looking a little bit green, but shuts the door quickly behind him.
I'm going to suggest that I send a couple of messages. I'm going to send a message to Casper. I'm going to send a message to Caddo.
Okay.
Why don't you guys decide? Should we send a message? We should send a message to Armin. Do you want him to send somebody, or should we see if we can get him to send somebody down here to deal with that lot in Saltstone?
If they're not too busy tidying up Selhoff, but...
And then he could actually collect Kieran's things that they could take his things back, perhaps? Because they've got to go back to Selhoff. They won't have left Selhoff yet. They're still busy sorting out that mess.
How long do you think it would take?
Should we do that?
Should we say, as a bird flies, to take this stuff over to this Selhoff?
Well,
It would take a couple of days. Even going as the bird flies. Have you got a map there?
yeah, but it's heavy. It's a sword and stuff.
Yeah, but
And
ignore
I do
that,
mean-
you've got a map there.
Literally as a bird flies, as opposed to just the line, because Otto could always take it and drop it off and come back. He hasn't met
Could we not
anyone
just...
before, but
Yeah, but they can take it back with them, can't they?
Okay.
We're all the way out over the east side,
Yeah.
and we're going to have to go across to the west anyway, so we'd be
okay.
Part way
fine.
back. Well, we won't be going to Selhoff.
We could
So-
just drop it off over the side
Ship.
with his name attached to it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So as the bird flies, travelling down from Selhoff or Saltstone to Selhoff isn't going to actually take much less time than it was to walk it, essentially, because the path is pretty much the same. Obviously, if you're taking the ship, you're flying over land, it will go a bit quicker. But we said, was it 7 days?
For Selhoff, I think it was.
Selhoff to Stagwick to Saltstone.
Wasn't it about a week down to Saltstone? Not Saltstone. Sorry, Stagwick was about halfway, wasn't it? Was it about 3 days or something down to?
Yeah, I think it's about a week to get there. So you can probably do it in 3 days maybe on the ship if you're pushing it. But yeah, as you were saying, Ryan, if you're going into Kessig, you've got to travel back west along this route, cut through under the Morkrut Marsh, which is not it's the Morkrut Marsh is just down from Selhoff. So you're not actually passing. You're passing maybe a day and a half's travel away from Selhoff, 3-day round trip to get from there to back to Selhoff and back onto your path.
But we're going to need supplies, and we've got refitting to do, haven't we?
So we could maybe drop off there, yeah.
Okay, so you've got 7 days. You've got 7 days in which to do whatever we need to do on downtime. Okay, so what I've drawn up here is just a quick little table. There's 3 of you, there's 7 days. You're going to have 3 slots for activities in each day.
Right.
Some activities might take more than 1 slot. Sometimes you can work across, 2 people can do one thing, one activity, etc. But for the next 7 days, you have that time to use. So what are you going to use it for?
As Otto awoke, he became aware of heat emanating from the feather in his pouch. Upon removing it, it rose upward, floating on an invisible updraft until it erupted into a shower of shimmering gold particles and vanished from view. As Avison reclaimed Cuin's soul, her weakened voice gently accepted Otto's sacrifice of some of his powers in exchange. Suddenly, feeling the effects of starvation, he revealed to everyone his withered skin, stretched over his thin skeletal form, as an overriding need for the taste of his first food in what felt like forever flooded over him. After a hearty breakfast, there was business to attend to, as plans for their floating fortress were considered and the fate of Cuin's possessions were decided upon. Hey, you made it this far, so lend us your ears for a moment longer if you will. Firstly, we are most humbled that you are enjoying our yarn, and the crew thank you from the bottom of their hearts for your patronage. Producing this podcast is incredibly hard work, and as such, if you would like to support us, there are a few ways in which you could really make a difference. Sharing links to friends and family helps to spread the word so others like you can find us, and in turn they too can enjoy the show. Equally helpful is leaving a 5-star review on Spotify and any other streaming services, which will help us immensely. Or, if you feel you could go that extra mile and contribute a few coppers to keep our creative juices flowing, you can hop on over to our Buy Me a Coffee page or drop us an email. We would all be immensely grateful for your support in any form. Lastly, we invite you to visit our website, where you will find information on our campaign from backstories to settings. Join our Facebook group or follow us on Twitter. All the links are in our episode bios. Don't forget to smash the subscribe and download buttons so you never miss the next episode. See you all again next week, folks.